Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be looking at the Snapchat Maps picture that could be edited. Also, Mark Williams Thomas gives us an update, and Brad's dad speaks about Brad starting boxing because his friends were up to no good. So to start off this video, let's take a look at the picture that Brad provided us, which showed Jay's location on Snapchat Maps. So in this video, you can see that someone is showing us the picture that Brad posted, and as you zoom in, you can see that part of the shoulder on the icon of Jay looks like it has been edited. Now, if it has been edited, then someone has clearly done a good job, because I haven't seen this before. But it also means that any other pictures that are involved in the Jay Slater case could have been edited as well. The problem with this is if you go to the picture that Brad posted in a Facebook group and zoom in, it looks completely different, and even though it's very blurry, you can see that it doesn't look like the one in the video I have showed you. The first difference is the fact that it looks like the picture has been flipped, as the icon is facing different directions. Also, the outline of the shoulder is different as well. If I put these two videos up, where it shows the outline of the icon, it's completely different. The one Brad posted goes straight around the body, and the other one doesn't. It has dips and bends in it. So what we have here is someone who has edited Brad's picture that he posted to try and confuse people. Like, we weren't confused enough already. Or there was an editing mistake that got put right, and Brad uploaded a second screenshot after it was corrected. If this is the case, then it would take a lot of time, and someone who's good at editing would have had to do it. This makes me think that some random person has done this to confuse people, and that's not what we need. Also, there is still definitely one thing about this image that is important, and that's the time this screenshot was taken. As you can see, it says 22 hours ago. Why did it take that long for Brad to screenshot this map? If Brad found out that Jay needed help after the phone call with Lucy, then he should have immediately took this screenshot. But he didn't. Let's say Jay had his Snapchat location turned on. It would have stopped updating when his phone died. This was apparently while on call to Lucy at around 8:50 a.m. on the 17th of June. So let's fast forward 22 hours. That takes us to 6:50 a.m. on the 18th of June. And that's when Brad would have taken this screenshot. That's a long time, considering Jay was missing and was scared for his life. Brad would have waited 22 hours to screenshot this. If he screenshotted this immediately, it would have said anything up to 10 minutes ago, but he didn't. So why did it take so long? We need to find out what the exact time was when Brad took this screenshot. And the answer as to why did he take so long to take action and screenshot Jay's location. Another important thing is that Jay didn't have his location on until Brad told him to, because Brad said in his interview that he told Jay to turn his location on. So did he keep his location on until his phone died or turn it back off again? Also, why did Jay not use Apple Maps like he did with Lucy? Instead, he used Snapchat. There are so many questions regarding this picture. The next thing we are going to talk about is the fact that two documentaries are coming out regarding the Jay Slater case. One from the family who are working on a documentary as we speak, and one from Mark Williams Thomas. Now we have all seen Mark's last video where he says he has information on why Jay left the Airbnb, and that he will tell us when the time is right. So I would suggest that from his post on Instagram, where he says enough time has passed and that the family know everything, that he would be revealing this information in his documentary. It will be very interesting to watch both documentaries and see what information we get from them, because there must be things that we haven't been told. Also, it looks like Mark is taking a different approach compared to the family. So we will see where that takes us. But will we get some of the truth about what happened? And will we finally get to see what Brandon has said to Mark? Because Mark claims he spoke to everyone except Rocky. Or will it just leave us with more questions? Hopefully, we get something from these documentaries, and it will be interesting to see what the family's opinion is and what they believe actually happened to Jay. The last thing we are going to look at is what Brad's dad had to say about Brad starting boxing and how he was going to go down a bad path if he didn't join a boxing gym.
Mark Gagan, we're currently in Clayton the Moors, Atkinson in Lancashire at Clayton ABC boxing gym. I brought my son here, Bradley, who's 11 years old. He's currently been training here for about 18 months. And he's coming in that sort of age where you're just breaking into secondary school and you meet the right friends. And what it was, he was playing football in the park, which is just directly across from here. And one evening he came home and told me, he said, "Dad, all my mates are drinking and smoking, drinking vodka actually, and smoking cigarettes." And I thought my son was playing football. And from that day on, I said to myself, look, the best thing for you to be doing now, because I've grown up here all my life, and I know the area, and it can be a bit rough, but it is a good place to be. And I thought I would just bring him down, and I brought him straight to the gym, met John, who runs the gym, John Brindle, and I told him the story. I said, look, I said, my son's 10, nearly 11 years old. I said, he's hanging around these lads that are doing the drinking and smoking, and he said, listen, this is the best place for him.
So Brad's dad talks about him hanging around with people who are involved in drinking and smoking. Bear in mind, he says that Brad was only 11 years old and his friends were drinking vodka. That is a very young age to be drinking vodka and smoking. It clearly leads to a bad path. That could involve criminal activity later on down the line. So Brad's dad decided to try and get him away from these situations, which is the best thing to do, to be honest. And learning good discipline through boxing can change kids who are hanging around people who are starting to get involved in things such as drinking and smoking. Also, seeing as Brad talks about being best friends with Jay for a long time, could Jay be one of the kids who Brad was hanging around with at this time, or did that come later on? Another friend of Brad's is Tom Hilton, and that could be someone who Brad's dad could be referring to when he talks about Brad's mates. But we know that the not smoking didn't last very long for Brad.
And 18 months since, he's never looked back. Never looked back, 3 times a week, and he's just so committed, and so is John and all the people that come here. His mentality's changed, his personality's changed, his discipline has changed, he's grown up so much, and he looks so healthy and so strong. And the gym is just doing fantastic, and it's 100% committed to the kids, and he's 100% committed to coming down here himself. I'd recommend everybody to come down to this gym and even help the gym in any way, shape or form. There's, although it is a small gym, it does get very packed out, but there's always a space for somebody here.
So on to the smoking not lasting long for Brad. His dad says that Brad was dedicated to boxing and was basically getting away from the bad habits that he could have started. But as you can see from pictures that we have been shown, Brad clearly started smoking at some point, and it wasn't just cigarettes, because there are pictures of Brad smoking Class B substances as well. So what happened to him being disciplined and dedicated to boxing? Did he get mixed up in a group of friends and ended up getting involved in these bad habits? Because it's easily done, to be honest. If you're hanging around with the wrong people, and normally what comes with these habits are getting into altercations with other people and even getting in trouble with the police. I'm not sure if Brad's mom and dad not being together was something that affected Brad, because it does affect teenagers when these things happen. But whatever happened, Brad ended up going down a bad path. Also, seeing as Brad was involved with boxing and can clearly defend himself, it makes you think why Brad was so hesitant to go to Jay's location, and Lucy ended up confronting Ayub and allegedly Rocky at the Airbnb, and we didn't hear about Brad taking any action. Something might have left him scared, and let's say that Jay was chased or was in trouble with people. It must have been a very bad situation for Brad to not go and help his friend. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will update you as we find out more.